So my name's Amanda and I'm a volunteer here with the Burnie Penguin Centre. I've been guiding now for 14 years. The group's been going over 20 though, so yeah, we've got a lovely little group here. Yeah, and I actually came down as a tourist, so I had not long moved to Burnie and I came down here and I was super excited to see the penguins, and I got talking to one of the guides then and she was like, well, you can join if you like, and I was like, yes, sign me up. So yeah, so I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, hi, my name is Stephen Locke, and well, how long have I been guiding for? I retired just over 11 years ago, and the first week of my retirement I was down here guiding with the little penguins. So I've been here just on 11 years. It was something that I decided before I'd retired at work, I've got to have something to do. This was my first choice and I love every minute of it. It is fantastic.
Oh, my name's Barbara Hoyt and I've been here 9 years, and I started volunteering because I wanted to give back to the community, and I think penguins are just fabulous. Love them.
We're very, very lucky here in Burnie. I think the experience with our penguins here is very, very unique. There is nowhere else in the world where you can go into town, have a meal, glass of wine, 10 minutes walk, and you can see some of our native animals in their own habitat.
Having so close to town, having birds and having the industry, the people walking past every day, this is actually quite a unique setting. So most places you will go to see little penguins, it's like a special spot where they've excluded people from, like Phillip Island or some of our more remote beaches. But here in Burnie, where we're living, we're working, we're right next to them. And so our little birds have had to adapt to that, and us as residents have also had to adapt to that.
What is unique about this? Yes, these penguins have had in the past New Year's Eve, where you have big bonfires, you have fireworks, and they sit up and watch them. So I think they're very happy penguins. I think they're not, like if you go to King Island, they're really shy. These penguins, to me, have got the best of both worlds. You do all sorts of things, like you do risk assessment when you come on to make sure it's safe. You check that there's nobody on the beach. You even do basic cleaning it up, if there's rubbish or things around, so that nobody, it's again safe.
We'll usually do a 15 to 20 minute talk with the people, tell them a little bit of the history of the place and why we're doing what we're doing. Then we'll tell them about the life cycle of the little penguin.
And then all we're trying to do is make sure that the people that are visiting have a nice, fun, safe experience, and that the penguins aren't negatively impacted. So we come down here and we show people the right way to view them.
We'll take them up to the boardwalk, answer any questions or whatever, and we will stay here until the very last person leaves. Rain, hail, snow or sunshine, we're here.
We do get penguins here year round. Our guiding season starts in October because that's when the action really starts kicking off, because the weather's warming up and so they're starting to think about breeding. So the penguins will start coming in, they'll pick a nest, go through, pick a mate, go through a bit of a breeding stage, and then the female lays 2 eggs, and then both the male and the female look after them. So they take it in turns. They're really quite good parents and quite very equal parents. So they take it in turns looking after the egg.
Penguins will always return to where they're born to breed. When they become a fledgling and head out to sea, they're usually gone for about 3 years. Unfortunately, in the first 12 months, we will lose anything up to 80% of the birds that leave here. The 20% that survive will come back, but only 5% of them will actually produce the next generation of little penguins. But they always return to where they were hatched.
From laying an egg to raising a chick, it's about 3.5 months. So that it's quite a quick growing period. And then once the chicks have grown up and left the nest, that's when the molting starts. So usually by about the end of summer, most of our chicks have fledged. They're big enough to look after themselves. They've got their waterproof feathers so they can then go out to sea and fend for themselves. And so after that happens, the parents, after that big raising the children stage, they're looking to molt. And so molting is a very important stage for them because they need to change their feathers. Because they're so small, Their feathers are all that's keeping them warm and waterproof when they're in the ocean, so they have to have really good feathers. And so they change them every year, and usually that's about late summer, early autumn. Certainly doesn't sound like a bird. Some people come down here and they're like, what is that? And it's like this tiny little thing. Supposedly they're actually the noisiest of all the penguins. They're the smallest, but they're also the noisiest. And they have lots of different calls. So they might have a warning call, you know, if they're worried about predators. They have greeting calls. So when they're out to sea and they're coming in, they're going to do a special noise. And sometimes it almost sounds like a little yapping noise or a bark. And that's them calling into their friends on land or their partner and saying, look, we're coming back. And the partners will reply and they'll say, yep, we're here, you know, it's safe, come up, we're hungry, our chicks are hungry. And so they will, and so they'll reply like that. And then when they greet each other, it does not sound like a friendly noise, but it is, like it's their friendly noise, and And it's also an important way of penguins, when they're coming in, it helps them, once they're on land, to navigate to their nest and to their chick. So we don't take bookings, you just show up about half an hour before dusk through October all the way through to March. We'll be running tours. And if you just pop along, dress warmly, much warmly than you think you will, because it's always freezing. You don't need to bring a torch or anything. We've got enough pathway lights here. We've got our own torches.
Normally at night time, along here especially, because we have all that ambient light that actually spills back onto the colony, you don't really need a light. You can see plenty of penguins without it. But if you are, it's got to be a red light. White light in particular, penguin can't see for 25 minutes. Because they spend 80% of their life in the ocean, and a lot of that is under the surface, white light does not penetrate water. So they use the red and the blue and so forth out of it. So white light is very, very bad for them. They don't like it at all.
The kids will love it. I would say it's exciting, and be prepared to be patient and just accept that when are the penguins coming, they'll come in their own time. It's never spot on, it's usually sunset, but just come and really enjoy their world. And if you're patient, you're going to have a really good night.
And the other thing, if you are looking at them, just walk normally along the walkway. Don't rush and, oh, there's a little penguin, go running up to it. And so explain people, it might just sit there and look at you, but what you've done by charging up to it and yelling and squealing, they get traumatised, they'll sit there and their heart rate it'll triple. You don't realise but just walk up, talk normally, just have a look at them, yep, and then go your merry way. Enjoy the experience and go on your way.
So here in Burnie, the whole foreshore, this side of the city, is actually a no dog zone. And that includes the path, that includes the car park, most of the university campus. And so things like that, because the main thing about a dog is even if you think your dog's the most well-behaved dog on a lead, a penguin doesn't know that. And it smells that dog and it smells a threat. And so if you're an adult penguin coming back and all you can smell is a predator, you're gonna think, I've got to save myself. And you're going to go back into the ocean. And so that means that little bird doesn't get fed that night. And that's when you're a little penguin and you're growing very quickly, even one night of missed food can be a big problem. And so just asking that people keep their pets at home. There's lots of other beaches around Burnie you can walk your dog, just not this one.
It is very, very challenging for the little birds. The biggest thing is the loss of habitat. It's lovely to have a nice great big mansion built on the ocean with all the ocean views and everything, but you must stop and think that what are we destroying to do that? I think what we've got here can demonstrate to people that we can coexist. We can have these little fellas living in their own environment, enjoying their environment, and we can still come down and we can enjoy the environment as well. Henceforth, one of the jobs that we're actually doing at the moment is hindsight's a wonderful thing, and a lot of what was planted here should never have been put there. The university have turned it into habitat for the little penguins, and that's what it should look like right through here in the next few years. And hopefully it will increase our numbers and increase the viewing for people, so we can get the message across about our little birds, how great they are.
I mean, I've always had a passion for looking after the environment and the animals. But it's also lovely to meet people and we get people from all over the world, and never gets old. So every night you come down here, you're meeting new people and you're talking to them, and it kind of reignites your passion every night because you're like, yeah, this is actually something really special. So for us as Burnie people, we do get used to just seeing them, but every time you meet a new person and it's the first time they've ever seen a penguin, you're like, yeah, this is actually really, really unique.
I'd just like to thank all the previous people that have made this centre what it is, and we're just continuing that. I think that there's been some fantastic people that have put so much time into being a guide, and I just think more people should get on board and take ownership. This is our backyard in Burnie, and we can make a wonderful difference to wildlife, especially our little penguin. So yeah, come on board and be a guide.
The impression that we create with our visitors brings the next lot of visitors in. If we can give them a really good experience, the best advertising is word of mouth. I had a fantastic time down there with them. And yeah, look, young people in particular, come and spend some time with us. See what we do and why we do it. And the enjoyment you'll get back out of it is, yeah, you can't put a figure on it.